Hi everyone. So today we have with us Naman Garg. He is All India ranked 94 in NIFT, and he has significantly performed very well in UCEED exam also. His rank is 200 in UCEED, and he has performed equally well in NID. So he's one student who has cleared all the examination, and he will be joining NIFT Delhi most likely. NIFT Delhi Communication Design or Product Design, whichever course he will be taking uh, as a final call. But yes, definitely the strength of Naman was he was very consistent, extremely consistent. With all the ups and downs, he never uh, shown me a sad face that he is a very good learner, very good learner. It means that एक एग्जाम खराब होता था तो अगला उससे डबल बेटर होता था, तो मैं वेट करता था कि इसको एक सेटबैक मिले ताकि अगली बार वो उससे डबल अच्छा परफॉर्म करे. सो नमन इज वन एग्जांपल दैट from 0 to 100, you can take your sketching. We have started with absolutely basic, and at the time he was giving the examination, he was a ranker in all the examinations. So Naman will be showing his presentation. Naman will be taking all your questions. Naman will be also discussing about all his strategies, what he has followed in the examination. And definitely he is one student who will inspire you a lot to do better. He's one student who will make you understand that despite of having lows in the mock examination, you will definitely jump back double in the next examination and perform very good in the final examination. So here is Naman with us. Naman, you can share your screen, but before that, you want to introduce yourself and you want to tell which stream you have taken in school, which school you are from, and what was
Right.
your everything. You can start with it.
Sure, sir. So, hi everyone. I am Naman from Gurgaon. तो पहली बात तो first journey to DC used to be a 1 hour metro to auto ride to and fro from the coaching center every day. So मतलब मैं आपको very vague terms में I'll tell you about my journey. मेट्रो राइड्स उसमें बाहर देखना, ऑटो राइड्स उसमें बाहर देखना, फोटोज खींचो, स्केचिंग करो, मेक इट. यू इन एसेंस स्केचिंग इज नॉट लाइक कि आप एक क्वेश्चन मिल रहा है आपको और आप कॉम्पोजिशन बनाने बैठ रहे हो इन 30 minutes. दैट इज नॉट व्हाट यू शुड रिस्ट्रिक्ट योरसेल्फ टू. दैट विल बी द कोर व्हिच आई विल फोकस ऑन around in the PPT as well. So yeah, that was and I'm from DPS Sushant Lok, did my 11th and 12th from there, and I will be joining whichever NIFT, Delhi or Bombay for most likely accessory design, my first choice.
Yes, Naman has got through UCEED, you have got DTU also. You have got
Yes, sir. DTU I've got through UCEED.
and
And if I was Delhi student, so there is another program in UCEED. There is a triple IT Delhi, BTech and CS in design. So that also for Delhi students, of course, not
what is
non-Delhi.
the course you are looking for in these colleges? Communication or product?
So at NIFT, I'm looking for product design so that I have a chance to go into industrial design later. Fashion communication also I'm looking at for my second choice. The only thing which I am interested in fashion communication is animation to go into game design. So these are two primary interest areas for me right now. And yeah, hopefully get.
Uh, Towards the end, I'm very much sure that a couple of students will ask you the questions like what was your thought process behind choosing the course. But I think your presentation is quite long and quite intensive, and you should start with your presentation so that students should understand that
Sure, sir.
how can take their journey. So you
Sure.
can the screen. And also, I'm very much I want to tell you all that Naman is one student जिसका कि आज का ड्राइंग अगर 10 on 20 होता तो अगले दिन का 18 on 20 होता. तो बहुत मूडी था, बहुत स्केचिंग इसका, बहुत एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन करने में कभी डरता नहीं था. जब एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन का टाइम आता था तो पेन से भी काम करो, पेंसिल से भी काम करो, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे द आउटपुट इज व्हाट समथिंग मैटर्स. तो yes, Naman, and
So is my screen visible?
yes, absolutely.
Okay. So some pointers again before we start. This session is not about you learning direct tricks to crack entrances, NID, NIFT, और it'll be more towards मैं आपको अपनी जर्नी बताऊंगा जैसे सर ने मेरे को हेल्प किया, जैसे डिजाइन सर्कल की और फैकल्टी ने मेरे को हेल्प किया. What all I learned, what all worked for me, it may work for you. But again, it is all about experimentation, as sir has said. So that is going to be the basic core of PPT as well. So yeah, try not to take this session as Gyan, as people say, ki someone is telling me to increase my marks. Instead, think of it as a process for your whole upcoming design life. In DC also, I'm sure आप सब में से जो भी who has already been a part of DC for a while now, you will understand it's not about you learning direct things ki, oh, I'm learning perspective, so I'm just going to learn this. Or I'm learning products, so I'm just going to make maybe sharpener with the hatching and the shading in the start. And I'm going to restrict myself to that. You have to understand in तीनों एग्जाम्स के लिए it is not like a standard career any which ways कि आप एक set of चीजें करते जाओगे in a closed syllabus and that will work for you. That मतलब you have to sort of do the opposite of that. Everybody says out of the box, out of the box. Maybe you can start thinking of what is in the box first. Define a set of standard things. Maybe work on those to get better. Ki, sorry, I got drifted away. I'll just continue with this. So yeah, subconsciously pick up things from your peers. लोगों से बात करो, your surroundings and your teachers, because at the end of the day, it's all about the small tips. धीरे धीरे आपकी जो लर्निंग डायरी बन रही होगी, एंड आई होप आप सब बना रहे हो एक लर्निंग डायरी. धीरे धीरे जस्ट मेक श्योर कि यू स्टार्ट राइटिंग डाउन और समवेयर नोटिंग इट डाउन इवन इफ इट्स इन योर माइंड, कुछ कुछ छोटी मोटी चीजें विच माइट हेल्प इन द फाइनल एग्जाम. And yeah, a very important point at the end of the process is these entrances will always have subjective marking, highly subjective marking. There will be never any point lingering onto a result. आपने अपना बेस्ट दे दिया, आपने अपना काम कर लिया, move on to the next thing, maybe move on to your daily sketching, designing. Huh. So now coming to preparation, it's best not to be afraid of anything here. आपको कोई जज नहीं कर रहा है. You are at free will to experiment, do whatever you want, as long as, of course, it is with due respect to all sensitive norms in today's world. उस एक बाउंड्री में आपको जो बनाना है आप बना सकते हो in that box. So these are some things which I did throughout my 1 year at Design Circle and outside Design Circle. It worked for me, it may work for you, may not, but always again try. Daily doodling, of course, without eraser, even with pencil when I was doing, after the first few weeks at DC, I sort of just started ignoring my eraser. Obviously, questions, may proper questions in a composition or whatever sir is giving at DC, you tend to use erasers, make mistakes in the first few months. But after that, आप अगर अपने आप को push कर रहे हो to just ignore the erasers, you sort of start trusting your instinct with the first idea which comes to your mind in that big box. Okay, this is good. I know this is unique. It may work, it may not work, it might be risky. It's okay. You can just experiment because final exam to hai nahi. Yeah, and then photos. I still have a WhatsApp group with just myself to just keep on sending myself photos which you can look. Maybe आप DC से आए, you had your whole daily routine, आपने खाना वाना खाया, रात को before going to sleep, just go through the photos to figure out what all small, maybe the facial expressions are there in the people of the photos which you click, or there is some small detailing in the landscape or surroundings or furniture, this, that. मतलब छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं which might all add up to your overall designer wala brain. Newspapers, because I was not very uh, strict with myself जो books होती हैं, so instead I use newspapers for the GAT section and online news. Decent recordings again and again for current affairs because सबके अपने तरीके होंगे, so I used to watch and rewatch recordings, sort of etch them in my head. weak areas. So to start off with, I did not used to be the best at coloring. Fine art, portraits, faces आपको दिखाऊंगा अभी मेरे initial few sketches, compositions. मेरी एक बहुत बड़ी problem रही हुई है my shaky hands. I didn't have confidence in what I used to draw. So I worked on that. And जो already strong areas थे उसको और better किया to add a sort of unique element from my end अगर मेरे लिए काम कर जाए तो. And for UCEED definitely solved each and every question paper available. मतलब UCEED में तो it's all about आप जितना practice कर रहे हो with the material available from the official site. जो भी question paper है चाहे UCEED का चाहे CEED का, for UCEED practice it, even sketching, because there will be a slightly different parameters for UCEED sketching. So yeah, this is a sort of embarrassing, sort of reminiscing what I used to make in my initial few days. This is actually after 2-3 weeks of class at DC and with scale, and I took about 1.5, 2 hours to make one 7x7 ka composition. Right, में कुछ products हैं, again scale, slowly, थोड़ा सा unneat सा, and not, maybe it's a very basic standard composition types. So on the top right, you can see faces, मतलब कुछ भी था नहीं तब तो, and bottom left, bottom right.
So as I told all of you that he has started from scratch. A lot
हाँ,
of you
मतलब
asked me
I'm
that
sure, yeah, I'm sure that most of you will have already like 50% sketching better than this, and even if ऐसी है, even if यहाँ से गंदी है ना, I love it. It only takes 2 to 3 months of serious work to just go to a good level. So this was this sort of compositions which I was making in about mid to late phase of DC when I was at DC in about September types. Direct pencil, no pencil guidelines needed.
So Naman has added the storytelling in all his questions.
हाँ,
वो
yeah.
storytelling अब आपको दिखेगा क्योंकि the strength of Naman was never a beautiful sketch, but his strength was always that his compositions were full of elements. His work were full of emotions. People have different kind of expression. Some expressions were annoying, some expression were happy, but storytelling बहुत strong था. तो storytelling has always been your strength, what I feel. Yes, Naman, you can continue.
So as sir is saying, storytelling, कुछ detailing add करना अपने composition में. This was what I worked on the most. So I'll go to the storytelling part of it. जैसे in the top left, if you can notice, it's not just a kitchen scene. If the question was a kitchen scene, वो उसने एप्रन पहना है, कुर्ता पहना है विद द टेक्सटाइल वाला प्रिंट, सम बेसिक प्रिंट दिखाने के लिए, पर उसके पैन में आग लग गई है एंड जल गया है एंड ही इज sort of angry, worried, maybe. So I played a lot of cricket pehle before design. My career was planning for cricket pehle. So I usually added a lot of cricket wale elements, जैसे कोहली का कप हो गया, and there are some broken cabinets at the back, fridge है, कुछ this is actually a sort of a version of my current home's kitchen. तो आप अपने अराउंड जो चीजें देख रहे हो उनको मेंटल नोट बनाओ या फिजिकल नोट बनाओ. You sort of add that because it is something only you and your family sees, not the examiner at NID or NIFT or UCEED. उन्होंने नहीं देखा कि आपके घर में क्या हो रहा है, और सुमित सर ने भी नहीं देखा होगा कि what all elements are there, right? तो अगर आप अपने अराउंड की चीजों को देख के ऐड करके कुछ बनाते हो, 90% चांस है कि देयर विल बी समथिंग यूनिक व्हिच कम्स आउट. Bottom left में the question was about 7 causes or some number of causes of diabetes. तो मैंने बस ये दिखा दिया, I personified these some causes and I showed like sort of them laughing. कोक की बॉटल हो गई, there is जलेबी, रसगुल्ला, गुलाब जामुन, और there is a that diamond shaped kaju katli, and the guy is on his bed in a hospital. तो उसमें भी एक क्रिकेट का एलिमेंट हो गया, तब सूर्य कुमार यादव was playing. Top right, there are some additions to this. After me taking feedback from Samir sir, I will clearly remember this sketch. तो इसमें मैंने एक मार्केट सीन दिखाया था जिसमें कोई जूस पी रहा है एंड देयर वाज अ लेडी हु गॉट हिट एंड उसके द कॉमिक स्टाइल स्टार्स बन रहे हैं उसके बॉटम राइट में. बट वो जो जेई और नीट एंड यूपीएससी क्लासेस सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइक कि इतने क्राउडेड मार्केट प्लेस में भी कोई यूपीएससी क्लासेस के लिए जा रहा है. इसमें कोई परफेक्ट ह्यूमन फिगर जरूरी नहीं था होना. इसमें मेरे फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस बिल्कुल रियलिस्टिक नहीं थे, बट रियलिस्टिक इन अ वे कि कुछ इमोशंस ब्रिंग आउट करते थे. इट वाजंट अ वेरी फाइन आर्ट वाला परफेक्ट क्वालिटी आर्ट. इट वाज मोर ऑफ की आइडिएशन पे काम कर रहे हो तो वो वाले आपके पेपर पे आने चाहिए. अगेन मोर कॉम्पोजिशंस. लेफ्ट वाज सपोज्ड टू बी अ क्लासरूम पीओवी. तो इसमें टीचर डांट रहा है बिकॉज फेल हो गया और बाहर से कोई हंस रहा है. And approximately time also, even if your time right now is taking 1 hour, 1.5 hour for these compositions, black and white compositions, just don't get under stress because at the end सबके सब ले आते हैं to 20 minutes, 22 minutes, 25 maybe with shading if you add that. So बीच में रनर इज रनिंग, बेटी पढ़ाओ बेटी बचाओ वाला कैंपेन के लिए स्प्रे पेंट कर रहा है. And right में बारिश हो रही है so he can't play out, go out and play cricket. The hat is kept, the some parts got cropped out and there's dog food. मतलब छोटे मोटे elements कहीं से भी आप add कर दो, it all adds up to a story. Because whoever is seeing your sketch, even if they're not familiar with you, they sort of start to understand कि oh इसने ये बनाया है, so it they sort of start connecting the lines अपने आप से. You don't have to explain it. Moving on to product, a bit of coloring, sometimes no, sometimes yes. So I did 2 or 3 different variations of my product wale boxes. Some feedback I used to get from sir was sometimes the drawings became too mechanical. जैसे जो आप left में देखोगे, except the coloring part maybe and some of the font, it is a bit too mechanical. There is no application of hands-on usage कि कोई use कर रहा है उस picnic bag को. That मैंने हर जगह बस लेबलिंग दे दी है and it's a bit more UCEED oriented drawing you can call it. In NID and NIFT, what my suggestion, what I used to get and I'm passing it on to you is आप जितने ह्यूमन एक्सप्रेशन या कुछ इमोशंस डालोगे अपने प्रोडक्ट में भी कहीं से कहीं कनेक्ट करोगे इट माइट हेल्प. जैसे बीच में मैंने एक रेनकोट बनाया है. इट्स जस्ट वेरी नॉर्मल प्रेजेंटेशन. मैंने इधर उधर से स्लाइस कर दिया बॉक्स को. बीच में बारिश हो रही है और वो साइकिल पे भाग रहा है. और क्या कहते हैं, दिस वाज आई थिंक अ कन्वर्टेबल रेनकोट फॉर अ स्कूल स्टूडेंट वॉकिंग एंड अ स्कूल स्टूडेंट ऑन अ साइकिल. तो उसमें यू जस्ट सॉर्ट ऑफ एड अ ह्यूमन फिगर and your human application is done. Right में again it became a bit too mechanical for product, but maybe uh, that style works for you.
So this was the style of Naman. मतलब इसका काम बहुत
Yeah.
mechanical होता था. That is why the second session is with Naman, because first session we have seen Vanya, whose work was very much day-to-day life work, and his work was very much towards engineering sort of work. But both the works has been liked by the teachers who were checking the paper. That's why I am saying that don't stick to any one
Correct.
student's work. आप अगर वान्या के काम को देख इंस्पायर हो तो आज आप में से बहुत सारे लोग इंस्पायर हो गए कि आई ऑल्सो डू द सेम टाइप ऑफ वर्क. क्योंकि आप में से 3-4 लोग मेरे से पूछने लग गए सेशन के बाद कि आई एम डूइंग वेरी मैकेनिकल वर्क. मैं प्रोडक्ट बोले जाता तो मेरे दिमाग में प्रोडक्ट आता है, मुझे नहीं पता कि उसके साथ और कितने इमोशन डालना है. तो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से थ्रू नमन्स वर्क दैट यू कैन शो प्रोडक्ट एंड स्टिल डू बेटर इन द एग्जामिनेशन. यस नमन, प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
So अभी as sir was saying, वाना का काम जो मैं find वो hatching यूज करती थी, which was her unique point of a unique element. So basically, you can get inspired from us. You can create a new thing. It all comes down to कि आपके sketch में उन 1000-2000 prime candidates से different क्या है जो टीचर एकदम से देखे और पकड़ ले कि हाँ he has or he or she has added something totally different which is benefiting the drawing. So this was an art table in the form of a palette, a color palette. बीच में again I went back to sort of mechanical products. Right में I changed it a bit. थोड़ा color add किया, थोड़ा सा human oriented children tiffin box multi-purpose wala. These were some non-colored, quick, very quick product sketches, like 15 minutes. जो except the shading ones, they're approximately 5 minutes. मतलब छोटे से observation वाले sketches थे. The right shoe, I added some element कि okay, Dhoni was the winning captain in 2011. तो इसका कोई ruptured shoe. We had to basically make a shoe as a product. तो मैंने एक story add कर दी कि ये वो वाला shoe है और ये museum में है. So that it's not for sale. So I tried hands-on with this bottom left bulb, thoda fine arts के लिए, for shading and different, basically just exploring myself. Now these questions in the end start becoming my favorite because आप इसमें बहुत versatility show कर सकते हो. A, you can show all sorts of different camera angles. B, आप उस कैमरा एंगल को zoom in कर दो, zoom out कर दो, level of detailing आपके ऊपर है. Emotions हो सकता है first box में happy हो, दूसरे box में surprised हो. There is always versatility in these questions. So I don't really remember the questions, but just trying to explain the different angles. Ki first में the overall view of the, I think this is a factory worker in one of the companies. So first में he's just going to the factory and उसका car का view है, front view. Then एक हाथ का view आ गया, because again it's not perfect drawing, it's just different ideation. फिर third box में he's angry because some task was not done or something failed. Last वाले में he's eating. This right 4x4 वाले में again there are different views. एक बहुत ही zoomed out view है just showing different houses, and there is some earthquake happening in the bottom right. उसमें Amazon boxes हैं. तो ये छोटे मोटे elements you can pick up from. Top left में the main tree being cut down is highlighted, and the axe. So some small maybe pen, आपकी जो line width होती है, that also matters if you can make that into an interesting element. Right में of course आप GK put in कर दो, silk tunnel collapse हुई थी. This is a this is one of the rare questions which was given to us कि instead of 4 boxes 6 boxes करो. So of course nobody is expecting कि आप इसमें highest level of quality डालोगे. Mediocre quality, line quality चलता है as long as ideation is top notch. So this is, I think, alien war happening on some planet, and again I've tried to at least try my best back then to show different camera angles possible here. और उसके ऊपर बीच में टाइम मिला तो फटाफट शेडिंग कर दो डार्क पेंसिल से. This the left picture,
काम अभी तक आप लोग देखे होंगे, नमन का जितना भी काम उसमें मिनिमलिस्टिक भी है, उसमें एलिमेंट्स भी हैं, सारे में वेरिएशन भी है, और आपको मोनोटोनस नहीं लगेगा. अभी 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 आप काम देखोगे लेफ्ट हैंड साइड तो कार है, उसके पीछे रिक्शा है, रिक्शे के पीछे शटर है. सो एडिंग एंड कंबाइनिंग ऑल द एलिमेंट्स, एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग जो भी आपको नोट करना है वो है इसके सारे काम में प्रपोर्शन बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. नमन के सारे काम में अगर आप देखोगे तो आपको सब चीज बहुत प्रपोर्शनेट दिखेगा. अगर कोई ह्यूमन है तो ह्यूमन के साथ चेयर प्रपोर्शन में दिखेगा, अगर आपको कार है तो कार के पीछे रिक्शा प्रपोर्शन में दिखेगा. ये सारी चीज आपको भी रियलाइज नहीं होती है, लेकिन ये सारी चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है व्हेन इट comes to the teacher who is checking the paper, that they also feel that student is quite observative. The student is very good in communicating the idea on the sheet with good proportion. So never lose. I've seen a lot of students who are doing very good work. I can say in the session that at least 2 times better than him, but then their proportion were so bad कि वहां पे उनके मार्क्स डिसअपॉइंट हो जाते थे. मतलब वो अगर एक ट्रक बना रहे हैं तो ट्रक के बगल में एक कार को उसके हाफ साइज का कार उसके साइज बगल में बना देंगे. तो दीज थिंग्स UCEED, NID and NIFT teacher doesn't like. That is what Naman's work make his work a lot different. Emotion, elements and proportion. These are the 3 top things. और इसके काम में कटिंग बिल्कुल नहीं होता था. जो भी ये काम करता था, जो भी ये स्केच करता था, वो डायरेक्टली करता था. एंड लास्ट 2 months तो आई थिंक नमन यू हैव ओनली वर्क विद पेन. पेंसिल तो बहुत कम यूज करते
बिल्कुल. हाँ, so I didn't मतलब redraw or eraser and all that.
थे. Yes,
So
you
yeah.
can continue.
हाँ, so one of the different, so there are 2 different things अगर आप observe करोगे इसमें, जो मैंने खुद experiment करी. पहला हो गया, राइट वाली पिक्चर में मैंने हल्का सा हैचिंग करने की कोशिश की, व्हिच आई यूजुअली डोंट डू. इट इज समथिंग व्हिच आई यूजुअली डोंट डू, पर मैंने एक्सपेरिमेंट टू शो कि ओके आई कैन ट्राई दिस आल्सो. और लेफ्ट वाली 4 बॉक्स वाली पिक्चर में बॉटम लेफ्ट, it is not, it's a bit more unrealistic wala concept ki the building is crushing all the trees in the forest and destroying the ecological balance, to sort of show a very deep meaning to the drawing. So this color focus, I'm just again, these were also based on कि मेरे ideas कैसे निकल रहे हैं and less on कि मेरी color की quality कितनी है. I definitely can say कि मेरे से बहुत better लोग थे in terms of detailing from color, gradients, clarity and coloring in general. But I focus on my ideation, my different elements. So you have to find something which works out for you. अगर आपकी coloring अच्छी है, then also it's a plus factor for NIFT. So anything, right?
बट आई
Left.
थिंक द
हाँ.
मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट कि जब 100 लोगों का पेपर चेक हो रहा है और उसमें 50 सेम तरह के आइडियाज आते हैं और एक नमन जैसा 51 आइडिया आ जाता है ना, तो टीचर स्टॉप एंड सी द वर्क. आपको अपने आइडियाज को थोड़ा क्रिएटिव और थोड़ा डिफरेंट करना पड़ेगा, विच इज वॉट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से थ्रू हिज वर्क, दैट हिज वर्क वॉज टोटली डिफरेंट. मैं सबका काम याद है जो मुझे, नमन का काम अलग से याद होता है क्योंकि ये अलग काम करके लाता था, इसके आइडियाज बिल्कुल डिफरेंट होते थे, एकदम आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स कुछ भी सोच लेता था. तो इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है कि कितना सुंदर एग्जीक्यूशन करो, इंपॉर्टेंट है कि कितना क्रिएटिव और कितना डिफरेंट एग्जीक्यूशन करो, वो भी अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा स्ट्रेंथ है. यस नमन, प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
हाँ. So as a different, right वाली उसमें we were shown to combine a human and an animal for a cover of a children's playbook. तो उसमें मैंने sort of एक paw print add कर दिया on the cover. वो थोड़ा डिफरेंट हो गया, हो सकता है तब पसंद आ गया. एंड लेफ्ट में हमें again this is a very basic format, right? I'm sure you've all done it, a stamp उसमें, but now the presentation is the stamp is part of a big stamp collection. उसके around top में कोई stamp है, right में कोई stamp है, बहुत सारी टेप लगी हुई है. So again just open yourself, don't restrict. कुछ भी नया ट्राई करो, हो सकता है पसंद आए, हो सकता है नहीं, that's not in your hands. इतना कर सकते हो, it's up to you. Now, book cover again. So, मैंने दिखा दिया, somebody is seeing it in a museum. The book is inside a frame in a museum celebrating APJ Abdul Kalam. And right में, this is the product again. This is one of the times where I moved from my mechanical side towards the emotional side. मैं product को दिखा दिया instead of labelings and this and that. एक unicorn themed bag, उसमें से कोई बॉल निकाल रहा है, कोई कुछ निकाल रहा है, and the guy is saying कि आजा क्रिकेट खेलते हैं. You will again find a lot of repetitiveness in my preparation of one or two elements. कि कुछ हो गया क्रिकेट से, कुछ हो गया डिटेलिंग, कुछ हो गया फॉन्ट्स का, बट वो आपकी रेपिटेटिवनेस आपको समझना पड़ेगा. इट्स ओनली इन योर प्रेपरेशन. द एग्जामिनर एट योर फाइनल पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम व्हेन आप एक्चुअल एग्जाम लिख रहे हो, वो तो आपकी एलिमेंट्स सिर्फ एक बार देखेंगे ना. तो इट डजंट रियली मैटर कि आपके एलिमेंट्स रिपीट हो रहे हैं, एज लॉन्ग एज दे आर यूनिक, दैट्स समथिंग टोटली डिफरेंट. These are logo redesigns, टाटा का एंड BSNL. उसने भी प्रेजेंटेशन आई ट्राइड टू शो कि ये कार का ग्रिल है कार के फ्रंट में, एंड BSNL pretty simple SIM card का box. Some more logo redesigns, and on the right is another, at least try from my side at a bit more fine arts वाला coloring. थोड़ा realistic करने की, थोड़ा actual note दिखे वो with the detailing and with the inscriptions. These are all redesigns. These sort of questions are more कि आप कंपनी को, these will be, मतलब अगर ऐसी कंपनीज आती हैं, so they're going to be very common companies which you've already heard. So you have to understand कि आपको इन कंपनीज का पता होना चाहिए कि what they work on, so that आप उससे रिलेटेड कुछ गूगल का, स्विगी का आप कुछ रीडिजाइन कर पाओ. At that time, one of Google's top corporate men, they were thinking of investing in some big rocket company. तो मैंने उसके शेप में एक लोगो बना लिया. Swiggy, of course, we all know is food delivery system. So you just make somebody who is licking and the nose is a pizza. It sounds pretty silly. It might even look pretty silly, but it is something unique. It might be risky. हो सकता है पसंद ना आए, but again. So coming to UCEED here, who was more into UCEED. UCEED के 200 मार्क्स प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के हैं, 100 मार्क्स ड्राइंग के हैं. इट वाज 60 पहले, नाउ इट्स बीन इंक्रीज टू 100. यूसीड में आपके कुछ तरह के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, बट यू कैन सॉर्ट ऑफ डिवाइड देम इनटू टू थिंग्स. या तो आपको इतनी अच्छी हाई स्केल्ड रिडल्स आएंगी, प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी, which you may just get confused upon, even though they are made of the simplest concepts in day-to-day life, but they'll jumble up the question or they'll complicate the question so much कि आप वो सॉल्व नहीं कर पाओगे, या फिर आप उस एक क्वेश्चन में 10 मिनट 15 मिनट लगा लो. Or you will get the most simple useless questions like counting the number of surfaces or counting this or something like that, जो कोई भी कर ले. बट प्रॉब्लम ना वही है, दे वांट टू टेस्ट कि आपकी ऑब्जर्वेशन कितनी अच्छी है इन द काउंटिंग क्वेश्चंस, कि दे विल गिव यू सच अ टाइनी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड फिगर, उसमें आप काउंट करना है. एंड इफ इट्स 3D यू हैव टू प्रेडिक्ट कि उसके पीछे वाले उसमें बेस्ड ऑन उसके आगे फेस में कितने नंबर ऑफ सर्फेसेस होंगे. सो यू सी इट इज अगेन a very brainstorming wala exam, and now this will be more towards like a preparation, what you can do, what I did towards UCEED. So after practicing some previous year papers, आप लोगों को subconsciously realize होने लगेगा कि कुछ कुछ pattern है. There are some questions which the examiner really likes, they'll put it again. तो obviously same question नहीं आएगा, but उसके basis पे एक और question आ सकता है, उस topic पे आ सकता है. तो figure out करो कि what questions those are. सारे भी from 2010, 2011, 2015, 2015 for UCEED and 2010 for SEED, वो सारे पेपर सॉल्व करो. टेक ऑल ऑफ देम, राइट डाउन कि आपके क्वेश्चंस नहीं हो रहे, एंड देन वर्क ऑन दोज क्वेश्चंस. Because क्या होता है कि the questions which you cannot do, either A, you don't know the concept, or B, you have missed something. So it's either a problem of observation or it is a problem of knowledge. अगर knowledge की problem है जो rarely होती है, उसको लिखो और उस पे काम करो, research करो, पढ़ो. Because again, to design exams there is no books available कि यही book से आएगा कि CBSE है या ऐसी वर्मा है for JEE. तो sort of just be open to everything. Drawing part of UCEED for any of you guys, since आप NID NIFT aspirants already ho, it should be fairly easy, because they usually will ask you one composition question, one product question. Product UCEED will suggest you to be a bit more mechanical. आप neat labels डालो और shadows बनाओ, और proportions, as Sumit sir said, it's definitely a part of any of these exams. Proportions को top उस पे रखो, हल्का सा pencil shading करो. In the composition questions, add a bit of shadows and lighting effects if you can. एक मेजर पॉइंट अगेन यूसीड के ड्राइंग पार्ट में, डोंट एक्सपेक्ट एनी मार्क्स इन एनी ऑफ दीज एग्जाम्स, नॉट इवन यूसीड, एनी ऑफ दीज एग्जाम्स. ड्राइंग में यू नेवर नो व्हाट्स गोइंग टू हैपन. UCEED maybe a lot of my friends and me as well, we all thought ki array drawing part was fairly easy, we'll get like 80-90 marks out of 100 or 70-80 marks out of 100, because they ask very basic question. But at max we ended up getting 37, and most of my friends got in 10-12. So expectation mat rakho, don't linger on ki ab kya hoga, oh mera exam ye ho gaya. Just prepare for the best. जो जो सर बताए जा रहे हैं, सर के सेशंस लो, फैकल्टी से बात करो, अपने दोस्तों से इसके डिजाइन के बारे में बात करो, गूगल पे जाओ, एंड यू बी फाइन. पार्ट ए, यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल कि आपको कितना टाइम मिल रहा है, आप कितना टाइम एक एक क्वेश्चन में लगा रहे हो. एक एक 3 सेक्शन होते हैं, MCQ, MSQ, NAT. नेगेटिविटी, नेगेटिव मार्क्स वाइज आप कितना टाइम एक सेक्शन में लगा रहे हो, उसको देखो. कौन सा क्वेश्चन छोड़ रहे हो, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली बात है यूसीड में आप हर क्वेश्चन नहीं कर पाओगे. What I did was I solved each and every UCEED and CEED paper twice, documented my wrong answers. अभी भी मेरे पास document पड़ा है जो मेरा नहीं हुआ UCEED में, and the questions I didn't get, और उसको figure out करा बार बार कि how to solve them, so that वो weak areas strengthen हो गए. And exam में I had a very good backup, because क्या होता है एग्जाम में, even if you know you have this strength maybe in sketching its composition, but you never know कि कैसा question आ जाए और कभी वो strike ना करे. एंड उस टाइम पे अगर आपको ऑल्टरनेटिव मिल जाए कि कॉम्पोजिशन या प्रोडक्ट, और आपका प्रोडक्ट वीक था, और इफ यू वर्कड ऑन द प्रोडक्ट, so you have a good backup option. These sketches are purely UCEED based. This was when I switched back to pencil, but obviously no eraser at all because there's no time. Just direct from ideation, maybe one or two guidelines somewhere, but direct from ideation otherwise, because of UCEED में pen allowed नहीं है. इधर भी मैंने अपने you can say NID and NIFT वाले elements डालने की कोशिश करी है, जहाँ पे भी इमोशंस डाल सके, एक्सप्रेशन डाल सके, और डिटेलिंग जा सके. One major point which the UCEED examiners might like is very neat shadows and lighting effects. उससे आपको प्लस पॉइंट्स मिल सकते हैं एग्जाम में भी. These are again 4 boxes on the left for UCEED, and this is I think 2022 का paper on the right. उसका sketch है. The plate is falling and the guys on the table, and there's just havoc all around. Coming to NID now, so I'm guessing a lot of you will want to have NID as your peak aspirational college, right? So there's going to be a bit of non-sketching wala advice. You just have to figure out if it works for you. Host that you may not understand, or तुम्हें लगे कि it's not really relevant to the session today or to my preparation for NID and NIFT and UCEED, but these sort of small things might come in handy. So as sir always has said and keeps saying, during the paper and just before, do not give these exams for the sake of giving the exam and topping it. Give it to have a good opportunity to experience कि आपको इस एटमोसफियर में आपके अराउंड बच्चे हैं, सेम क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट कर रहे हैं, आपको एक नया डिफरेंट तरह का क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करने को मिल रहा है, कुछ स्केच करने को मिल रहा है. सिर्फ उस वाले माइंडसेट के साथ जाओ वहाँ पे, क्वेश्चन पढ़ो, figure out a way to make it relatable to you, bring out your emotions on the paper if you can do that without thinking. This is a very important point कि without thinking, oh, what if the examiner does not like this, or what if I mess it up. A very good idea is to always trust your instincts during the exam. Second thoughts mat do jo aa raha hai, because speed is always very important here. In NID, be fast yourself, be very concise. You will cruise through the paper easily. Some things which might uplift your work from the other top maybe 20,000 से top 100 में आने के लिए, तो कुछ चीजें हैं which might help in your sketches is maybe एक hyper perspective हो गया with a very fish eye wala view, or maybe some hyper realistic facial expressions or comical facial expressions. Maybe you don't draw human figures well, you draw human figures like cartoons. It's totally okay. अगर आप human figures like cartoons draw कर रहे हो, become perfect in that. हाथ पैर फनी से बनाओ, expressions फनी से बनाओ, ताकि एग्जामिनर हंसे और उसको कुछ डिफरेंट सा मिले करने को. Be open to taking risks, of course. An idea. Coming to NIFT, CAT. Now, since I already explained about NID, ज़्यादा difference नहीं है, except maybe you may get bonus points in NIFT if you make your drawing aesthetically pleasing. That is, add colors and sort of beautify it. Again, I was not the best at colors and more towards what NID style has been. So again, I'm stressing on this. Don't have any preconceived notion कि NIFT है तो colors ही expect करेंगे, NID है तो ideas expect करेंगे. They both can change anytime, they both can mix anytime. So just go with your preparation and not anybody's direct advice कि यही आएगा NIFT NID में. NIFT GAT, again a very important subject for NIFT. Crucial है, marks ज़्यादा हैं इसके, considerable है. इसके methods of preparation can be very like a wide variety of sources. Lectures होता है, जो आपको GK book मिलती है डिजाइन सर्कल से, वो हो सकती है. आपको अगर न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना है हर रोज while you're having breakfast, तो वो हो सकता है. Maybe on Instagram, these sponsored posts or whatever, or Twitter, some news keeps on coming, people keep on debating this and that. Maybe not the debate side of it, but you got to know something is happening around you. Mainstream media, of course, again, it might be a bit boring because we're all what, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? तो मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया माइट बी बिट बोरिंग, आप न्यूज चैनल पे देखोगे बैठोगे यू गेट बोर्ड. सो जस्ट फाइंड योरसेल्फ जो भी आपको इंटरेस्टिंग लगे. Maybe you can do like you can converse with your friends or your parents or people around you कि oh did you see कि आज इस world के इस part में क्या हुआ. Maybe talk with your dad about politics and civics etc. अभी elections हुए, I talked a lot with my dad, and before that the war this and that just been happening. Not to sort of get engaged in a fight कि you are taking a political stance or you're taking a humanitarian stance towards something, but just to know कि all this is happening and I'm aware about what is happening. Maybe you can put that awareness in your sketch also कि ओ मेरे को जीके पता है तो मैं ये डाल देती हूँ. It might help. Of course, आप अगर सिर्फ cat करते जाओगे, you'll just sort of surround yourself with this, it might not go well. आपको हो सकता है burnout हो जाए. So always छोटी मोटी चीजें, figure out small ways in which you can improve your current affairs. English is something which you can make better from day to day conversations. आप पढ़ो, न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ रहे हो, read more on any topic, sports, SC anything. Going through specific. This is something which helped me, and I saw Vanya's session as well. This documents on idioms and synonyms, antonyms, which TC provides. ये बड़े helpful होते हैं because somehow sir is very good and the faculty is very good at TC की you get to know some accurate information even if only 20% of it comes in the exam. कहीं ना कहीं some idiom or some synonym antonym or some sort of knowledge which is non-sketching wala your GAT part वो आ जाती है. Yeah, so English I don't think there's much difficulty here. It's always better to re-establish your theoretical knowledge though from these sources. अगर आप high level of vocabulary भी use करते हो, just a minute please. हाँ, sorry. अगर आप high level of vocabulary भी use करते हो, it might help. You might get to know some new words which you weren't aware of earlier. Moving on to maths. Okay, so I know a lot of you will get a bit stressed about this, but आपको समझना पड़ेगा NIFT वाले don't expect you to be solving very advanced calculus or algebra की second order differential equation this and that. They just want कि आपको basic math आ जाए जो थोड़ा बहुत basic concepts हैं and which are just sort of reiterations from your 9th, 10th, 8th that class. Again, Gaurav sir is the best when it comes to all CAT classes here, especially for maths. Go up to him anytime, figure out आपको कोई concept नहीं आ रहा है. अभी भी बहुत time है maths में. You have a lot of months left for your exam, and it's pretty easy. Maths, you don't really. Whoever is worrying, you can always sort of ask us, your seniors, your peers, your parents. Maths वो आपको ऐसे ही पूछेंगे, profit loss हो गया, percentages, these sort of things, they're very basic. There is no need to worry about maths at all. Logical reasoning, NIFT logical reasoning is quite simple and straightforward. There will be a variety of questions again, but basic level of questions. Number series होता है, there can be color coded logical reasoning. They might give you puzzles and shapes, and you have to put a missing puzzle or a missing shape inside, or the family, blood related, time related questions, which once you get familiar with these type of questions, it becomes easily doable. For LR, don't second guess yourself. मतलब since time कम है and you have to do a lot of questions and do them fast, just simply understand कि the question will not trick you. NIFT में be a simple question. Answer definitely one of the four options आपको समझ में आ जाएगा अगर आप fluent हो logical reasoning में. So I don't think there is much issue in this. Now मैं इस पे पढ़ा फटाफट I'll just go through these extra sketches which I did in the latter phase of my DC wala journey and some of what I have been doing now. These sort of sketches are sort of to make you understand कि design is not just about what आप अभी entrances के लिए कर रहे हो, but ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आप जो extras कर रहे हो, you might get better at the actual composition वाले questions or the product वाले questions which you are doing in class. because छोटी मोटी elements हैं, some tricks you might find, some intermixing of stationery and medium. जैसे इधर मैंने color and detailing, I have retained my detailing जो मैं करता हूँ अपने questions में, मैं करता था अपने questions में, just added some color to it, so it might help. The left one is a very abstract piece, मैं थोड़े rough से बना रहा था, थोड़े expression वाली, the comical expression वाली elements add करता था, so it's just it doesn't really mean anything. Now the one on here, again, it's about detailing. If you are one of those people who goes into extra detailing and tiny elements in your sketches, you can do something like this and spend 1 or 2 hours and just fill out a whole page on your sketchbook with the tiniest of details. Right wala is the laptop on which I'm currently on. Hyper perspective हो गया एक तरीके से कि the Pokemon's claw is coming out. It's just sort of कि this is not for you. This is not for me to show you guys कि मैंने ये सब किया है. I'm just trying to make you understand कि अगर आप लोग भी ऐसे करते हो, it might help in your entrance prep, because it will never be all about just grinding 10-10 composition questions or 10-10 product questions each day. You will definitely burn out. थोड़ा अपने आप को relax करो and figure out a way to do something different. Again, now automobile design and detailing. Now this might help you. ये थोड़े पैसे वाले हैं कि लेफ्ट इज प्योर फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस, नॉर्मली आप जो यूज कर सकते हो अपने स्केचेस में. Coming to the right wala picture, I'm sure a lot of you all are anime fans. I am not one of the people who watches anime, so I find it a bit repulsive. So, but I still try to make these things using some pictures which a friend sent. तो आप भी ऐसे कर सकते हो, even if you're not into anime, these sort of expressions, they might make your sketches better, might give you an edge, anything which works for you. So again, a very rough that was a sketch. Now general is the latter part of the PPT now. ये थोड़ा general feedback होगा जो not really related to any one subject. It'll just be normal feedback from my side. Sumit sir के sessions please attend करो, all of them, because a lot of you might not be focusing towards one sort of exam or one sort of line, but एक एक session count करता है. There might be a small thing which you might have missed, and that small thing, who knows, हो सकता है कि आपको कभी काम आ जाए एग्जाम में या किसी भी चीज में हेल्प मिल जाए. Second point being, best to be laid back about your mental stress as such. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि काम करना बंद कर दो या काम कम करो. मैं बस ये कह रहा हूँ कि काम कर रहे हो तो just keep on doing it, just keep on reading more, keep on figuring out कि क्या क्या हो सकता है. बट ये मत सोचो कि ओह नो, व्हाट इफ ये हो जाए या ये हो जाए मेरे साथ, और व्हाट इफ आई एम नॉट एबल टू डू इट और दिस एंड दैट. बिकॉज फिर क्या होता है, यू जस्ट सॉर्ट ऑफ स्टार्ट, this has happened to so many of my seniors, your seniors, me as well, my friends as well. It might happen to you as well. You sort of start to go into a negative cycle by thinking these oh no, what if wale statements. Best है इससे दूर रहो जितना possible and just keep on working and going on. Talk and connect with people as much in and out of design circle. Mix and match करो, mediums हैं चाहे चाहे different subjects हैं. हर रोज आप ये नहीं कर सकते कि मैंने तो आज पूरा 10 घंटे स्केचिंग कर लिया, मैं कल अब 10 घंटे मैथ्स करूंगी, परसों इंग्लिश. यू विल डेफिनेटली बर्न आउट, और ये वाली स्ट्रैटेजी यूजुअली काम नहीं करती है. सो मिक्स एंड मैच करो, थोड़ा थोड़ा हर चीज को करो, थोड़ा एंटरटेनमेंट टाइम भी दो एंड ऑल दैट. Reach out to your friends, very important, seniors, faculty at DC, Sumit sir, anyone whom you may want to talk to without a second thought. अगर कोई भी टेंशन होती है, everybody is there to guide you and ease off the stress, tension, this and that. हाँ, so in case now questions, sir and me will take. अगर आप क्वेश्चंस हैं, अगर ह्यूमन फिगर्स आपके अच्छे नहीं है, आपको लगता है कि मैं साइंस बैकग्राउंड से नहीं हूँ यूसीड के लिए, मेरे को पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं आता, आई एम वेरी स्लो इन स्केचिंग, आई कांट सीम टू गेट माय स्पीड अप, आई कांट रियली मेमोराइज और टेक इंटरेस्ट इन जीके, कलरिंग बोर करती है, मेरे को करती थी, प्रपोर्शन नहीं हो रहा है, somewhere there's always an answer lying on for this. So ask anything you want, and sir can continue.
Yes, Naman. So how so you can now switch off the screen sharing. So all of you can also ask your question. It was indeed a very good session. एक साल पहले नमन सुनता था, अब कॉन्फिडेंस में देख रहे हो क्या बोल रहा है, मतलब मुझे बोलना नहीं पड़ रहा था. सो दिस इज अ वेरी विजिबल चेंज. ये कॉन्फिडेंस रातों रात नहीं आया. इट टुक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम टू गेन दिस कॉन्फिडेंस टू एड्रेस यू ऑल विदाउट अ ब्रेक विथ सच अ गुड. मैं जब तुम्हारी एज का था तो निफ्ट में मुझे इंग्लिश सिखाया जाता था कि ऐसे इंग्लिश बोलते हो, और तुम मेरी एज में अपने एज में प्रेजेंटेशन कर रहे हो. वेरी नाइस. How important is learning diary? Because I know that your learning diary was full of art, and I think somehow it helped you a lot in examination, both in NID and UCEED examination. So how do you feel that what all should be the part of learning diary, and how important are the learning diaries to all of the for all these students?
Sir, so again now learning diary. First of all, to all everybody out here, after you are done with the prep, आपकी if you have put in the work, of course, definitely have 2, 3, 4, 5 and number of learning diaries. There's no end to it. Doesn't have to be a very formal thing. Learning diary is not something कि आप सर को दिखाने के लिए कर रहे हो, आप किसी को दिखाने के लिए कर रहे हो. It is something कि आप छोटी छोटी चीजें नोट करो, चीजों को बना रहे हो in a miniature form, in a rough form, in a doodle form, to sort of एक एक आपके पास एक physical form में एक नोट्स ऐप हो गया एक तरीके से विद रिस्पेक्ट टू योर प्रिपरेशन. छोटी मोटी चीजें, और इफ यू गेटिंग फीडबैक, जैसे मेरा शेकी हैंड्स का था, मैंने उसको बार बार नोट किया, मैंने स्ट्रोक्स बनाने शुरू किए लंबे लंबे, और समथिंग लाइक आपकी प्रपोर्शन सही नहीं है उस पर प्रैक्टिस करो. लर्निंग डायरी बिकॉज ऐसी चीज है यू कैन कैरी इट विद योर सेल्फ इवन टू योर वेकेशन. Draw small sketches anywhere where you're sitting, in a car, in a bus, in a boat, this, that, in a plane. Learning diary, again, it doesn't really have to only consist of big sketches, small sketches. हो सकता है आप लिख भी रहे हो. मैं क्या करता था, by the end of my preparation वाला phase, I had a learning diary. मेरी 3-4 पढ़ी हैं. So one of them I had कि मैं एक एक एलिमेंट जो मैं डालने की कोशिश करूंगा कि अगर एग्जाम में ये क्वेश्चन आ गया, कंपोजिशन का आ गया, और कंपोजिशन में बेडरूम का आ गया, तो मेरे जो रूम में ऑल अराउंड है, आई यूजुअली कीप अ वेरी मेसी रूम, दैट एलिमेंट्स लाइंग ऑल अराउंड, तो मैं यही डाल सकता हूँ अपने स्केच में. I just wrote. Even if you don't want to draw in a learning diary, write, draw, anything is possible. But there is not enough uh, stress which I can lay on कि learning diary कितनी important होती है.
ग्रेट. सो बेसिकली मैं आपको बताऊं तो नमन के लिए लर्निंग डायरी उसका मोबाइल फोन जैसा था. वो लर्निंग डायरी वैसे ही कैरी करता था. एक चीज मुझे श्योर था एग्जाम में कि कोई अगर एनआईडी 15 क्वेश्चन भी दे देगा तो नमन 15 क्वेश्चन कर लेगा, क्योंकि ही कैन अडेप्ट हिमसेल्फ इन अ 5 मिनट सिनेरियो, इन अ 10 मिनट सिनेरियो, इन अ 20 मिनट सिनेरियो, एंड इन अ 30 मिनट सिनेरियो, because he was habitual of doing all those works in any given time, and not because what assignments we used to give, but the assignment he has taken himself. क्योंकि जब वो लर्निंग डायरी में आप काम करते हो तो आप 5 से 10 मिनट से ज्यादा लगाते नहीं हो, और जब आप क्लास में काम करते हो तो यू डू इट फॉर 20 मिनट्स 25 मिनट्स. सो आई थिंक दैट one of the major reason why Naman has cleared not almost every examination. He has not, there is not even a single examination he has not cleared. He has cleared all the examination last year. The reason was that NID gave 12, NID gave 10 question in 3 hours. Naman didn't complain that there were too many questions. NIFT gave 3 question in 3 hours. He didn't say that it was too much of time. UCEED gave 2 question in 1 hour. He didn't say that I am not prepared for 2 question in 1 hour, because his hand and his mind was synchronized for all kind of uh, uh, time management basically. How important was your marathon classes जो होती हैं जून में? How important is for everyone to take it and take the mock examination, especially in the month of June?
Right. So again, I'm sorry, I forgot the mock exams and the marathon was the part. Mock exams, as sir said, starting में, मतलब don't treat them like your test. Treat them as it is a chance for you to be in a competitive environment without any risks, because इसमें कोई फाइनल रिजल्ट तो है नहीं आपकी कॉलेज का. So treat them as कि okay, इस बार नहीं अच्छा हुआ, so I can experiment. That's what I did. कि मेरा एक एग्जाम अच्छा नहीं होता था, so the next one I experimented and I did something different, or I added something to something which was already there. Talking about marathon classes, ये एक phase होता है summer break के आसपास वाला 10-15 days. You have to understand, इट्स नॉट जस्ट कि आपने एक बार गैट कर लिया तो गैट कर लिया, आप कभी वापस क्लास नहीं लोगे या गैट पढ़ोगे नहीं. सो इवन इफ यू हैव डन गैट पहले, करंट अफेयर्स पहले, इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टू टेक दीज क्लासेस बिकॉज एक सॉर्ट ऑफ रिविजन हो जाता है. इफ यू आर नॉट गुड एट मैथ्स, आप मैथ्स की लो, इंग्लिश की लो, बस आप रिवाइज ही तो करो. देयर इज नो हार्म टू डू इट. एंड एक एक पीरियड की बात है, ऑनेस्टली दिस इज वेरी जेनेरिक एडवाइस कि everybody says कि हाँ पहले तो 12th boards then entrances, but again this is a major time कि these few months आप कर लोगे, you can reach to another level. That's for these levels.
One very important question, that you were preparing for your boards, you were preparing for NIFT, NIT, and UCEED, all the examinations simultaneously. Did you mix all the preparation, or you managed a preparation like that? Today I'm preparing for myself for UCEED. Next couple of days will be focused more towards NID, or till NID you have just focused for NID, then UCEED, then NIFT, or you have mixed the preparation?
So sir, what I did was I completely mixed. मतलब मेरा कोई sole focus नहीं था कि I am just doing this so that I can clear NID, or so that I can clear NIFT, or so that I can clear UCEED. Do everything थोड़ा, and just it'll be finished by the time you're on with
वो
your
थोड़ा थोड़ा
exams.
कितना होता है एक दिन में? आप पीसीएम स्टूडेंट हो, राइट? आप एक दिन में कितना टाइम लगाते थे प्रिपरेशन को?
Right. So, sir, now again, it depends on PCA में भी क्या होता है कि some students can easily cope up with what is happening in class science में if they are the JEE takers. Even if they're not, most of some students are not able to cope up. What I will suggest is, for any student out there, be it PCM, not PCM, अगर आपको boards manage करने हैं और 3 different entrances manage करने हैं, figure out a way. If you think कि आप boards and moment पे नहीं कर पाओगे, कि to be done with about 50-60% of your syllabus पहले, if you can plan and move forward. Talking about these 3 entrances, you see, मैं stress भी नहीं कर सकता कि आपको कितना कि एक एक पेपर सॉल्व करोगे तो इतना बेनिफिट्स बढ़ जाता है. आप इतने क्वेश्चन रिपीट हो जाते हैं in some or the other form. So take one paper, for example, maybe this can be a for example was a schedule. I did one composition, one product, one color based question, and I took one paper of UCEED और मैंने टाइम में किया. It is okay अगर आप कुछ महीने Instagram पे रील्स नहीं देखोगे या कुछ YouTube नहीं देखोगे. Again, it's very generic, very boring, cliche advice कि ये सब नहीं करना चाहिए. But I'm telling you, for a few months, you are fine off without it. You can disable. If you don't want to disable, just take a few friends and talk normally with them. Take their number, call them up. And something which my parents told me, अगर करना ही है Instagram and बात करनी है लोगों से, instead maybe call them up or go meet them. आप physically meet करने जाओगे, 10 चीजें देखोगे आपके आसपास, that might add or that might click in your mind कि मैं ये भी कर सकता हूँ. Sort of keep, if you're that sort of person, just keep your brain active all 24/7 background में कि मैं कुछ भी कर रहा हूँ, but this is something which I can take from here and put it to my work in design.
Great. Uh, one piece of advice I want to take from you for all my students is that the preparation should be concentrated, like more towards the end, या उनको भी major September तक finish करना चाहिए. October should be for revision and normal December should be mock exam. आपको पता है कितने सारे mocks आपने last के 2 months में दिए हैं. It was like every second day we were taking a mock and you were giving the mock. तो आपने क्या strategy follow किया था? You were more serious or maximum serious towards the end of examination, or your peak came in by September or October?
So okay, so sir, with all due respect, मैं क्या करता था, I almost treated every question like a mock and every mock like a question only, a regular question. तो मेरे
Absolutely.
ज़्यादा difference नहीं था. So what I did was, I didn't really plan कि these 2 months I'm focusing on getting wrapped up with the syllabus. Obviously, a deadline तो everybody out here will have to give. If the exam is if the exam starts from December, you get your syllabus wrapped up in maybe September, October, or whatever, November. As per आपको कितना time चाहिए with the period of revision, डिफाइंड पीरियड ऑफ रिविजन. अगर आप ऐसे नहीं हो जो डिफाइन करता है एक पीरियड को, just keep on doing, because even if you do more there is no harm. अगर आप स्केड्यूल से आगे भी हो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, स्केड्यूल से पीछे हो तो थोड़ी और चीजों में टाइम कम करके इसमें टाइम कर लो एंड यू विल मैच अप. बिकॉज ऐसा नहीं है कि इसमें प्रॉपर कोर्स कंप्लीट करने के बाद भी यू आर थ्रू विद इट. यू ऑलवेज हैव टू कीप योरसेल्फ एक्टिव एंड कीप ऑन फिगरिंग आउट न्यू थिंग्स. कि मतलब आप लैपटॉप की स्क्रीन देख रहे हो, आप ब्राउज कर रहे हो कुछ, उसमें कुछ नया क्लिक करके, एनीथिंग अराउंड यू. सो इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ anybody as per their mind, and talking to teachers here and there, figure out कि आपको कितना टाइम चाहिए कि जिसमें सिर्फ मैं ये जीके के टॉपिक्स या ये इंग्लिश टॉपिक्स, मैथ्स एंड स्केचिंग के कुछ टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन लाइक अ 4x4
आपका
बॉक्स.
शेड्यूल क्या होता था? व्हाट वाज योर शेड्यूल? आप गैट को कितना टाइम देते थे, कैट को कैसे टाइम देते थे?
सो ओके, सो
लेट्स
गैट
टॉक
एंड
ओनली अबाउट एनआईडी फॉर नाउ, नॉट यूसीड. एनआईडी और निफ्ट में आप गैट
एनआईडी
और,
नहीं.
हाँ, एनआईडी और निफ्ट
राइट.
में आप गैट और कैट को कैसे डिवाइड कर देते थे?
सो सर, मैंने अपना मैंने ओके मैंने सितंबर अक्टूबर तक 100% टाइम मैंने उसको दिया स्केचिंग को. मतलब ऑलवेज इट वाज देयर फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग. एंड सितंबर से आई स्टार्ट टू रियलाइज कि यू हैव टू स्टार्ट डूइंग दिस, देयर इज नो एस्केपिंग फ्रॉम योर करंट अफेयर्स एंड दिस एंड दैट. सो आई स्टार्टेड ग्राइंडिंग दीज क्लासेस. जो मैराथन का रिकॉर्डिंग था उसको ग्राइंड किया मैंने सितंबर अक्टूबर से, फटाफट फटाफट. एक बहुत बड़ा मेरा एक 30-40 पेज का डॉक्यूमेंट है करंट अफेयर्स का फॉर एनआईडी एंड निफ्ट बोथ. Even if it's not a document, you can make notes, make anything, but it's always better to have some sort of tangible notes for GK. वो help करता है आपके दिमाग में register होने में. So that's what I did. Approximately, I started that in October, September. But if you can manage, I would suggest कि आप GAT भी 10% आप अभी से शुरू कर लो. It sort of eases you up. बाद में ज्यादा आपको you don't get tense, you don't get uneasy कि ओ गैट शायद मिस हो जाए. बट इट्स बेटर कि थोड़ा 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 अभी बिल्ड अप कर लोगे. इट्स अ गुड स्टार्ट टू योर गैट प्रेप एज वेल.
आई थिंक इट्स अ जेन्युइन पीस ऑफ एडवाइस, बट जो जनरल नॉलेज था, एक तो बुकिश और एक करंट अफेयर्स, हमेशा रिस्क होता है कि करंट अफेयर्स से आएगा इस बार या बुक से आएगा या वैदिक
सो
एरा से आएगा, हिस्ट्री से आएगा. सो हाउ डिड यू मैनेज जीके, और आप कितना जीके नोट करते थे और कितना जीके का प्रिंट लेके पढ़ते थे? तो व्हाट वाज योर स्ट्रेटजी इन लर्निंग जीके पार्ट?
सर, जीके आपने जैसे बोला डिवाइड इनटू 2 पार्ट्स. जीके हो गया ऑफ ऑल टाइम, मे बी एक्सटाइल एंड ऑल दैट, एंड करंट अफेयर्स हो गया. मी not to say it like that, but मैं थोड़ा already interested था current affairs में, what is happening all around the world in our country on different events. तो फोन में फटाफट फोन खोलो, गूगल न्यूज पे जाओ, scroll through the articles, sort of current affairs वहीं से किए मैंने. मेरा 90% time was for GK. I had a hard time doing the static GK, which is sort of cultural things, monuments, dances, and textiles, and this and that. So that I did completely notes, pictures. I have a Word document, a very big one for all of that. So again, you have to know yourself best. Ki if the student is interested towards GK, they already know textiles में क्या क्या है and cultural events में ये होता है and current affairs में दिक्कत है, so maybe they spend more time physically noting the current affairs कि आज ये हुआ, कल ये हुआ, and this is and that.
Understood. I think you have taken a lot of question and discussed all the points, and I have taken all the question which student have asked. Thank you so much, Naman. It's already late, and thank you so much for coming with us. And if anyone has any question, I'll share Naman's number with you. You can drop him a text and you can ask him if you have any kind of question, any kind of doubts.
Sure,
And
definitely.
all the best for your career, and
Thank you, sir.
keep inspiring all these students. Have a good day and have a good night. Bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you.